Dun, 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 dun.
Hello and welcome to the Be True to You series. I am Kimberly Rochelle, the CEO and founder of Positively Kimberly. I am a public figure and author, also a mentality coach and energy trainer, an actress, quite unique, a little bit magical, and sometimes I'm a badass. In this amazing series, I have the opportunity to meet with such amazing people all around the world and figure out what makes them so unique, so great, so beautiful, and really so awesome. Today, I have Kristen.
We go.
Kristen. Brooke. Sorry, I'm having trouble with this name. Here with me. How are you doing today, Kristen?
I am. It is Kirsten. It's
Okay.
like curse and 10. I'm great. Happy to be here chatting with you this morning.
Well, I'm happy
This
to
afternoon.
have you here. Well, yeah. I had to ask you because you're like one of the most badass people that I know.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot. That's a lot of pressure right there.
Well, no pressure intended. So, what do you do that brings you joy?
Oh my goodness. Definitely when I am able to be fully present with my kids. That's a big one, and that's hard to do. And I love actually crafting. Let's just say that what I do in my everyday life doesn't always exactly match what I look like. I'm actually a pretty boring, down to earth, health conscious, hippie-ish. Even though I'm covered in tattoos and have the vest and have this like badass persona and the shaved leopard print head and all that kind of stuff. I'm actually, I really take joy in very, very boring things. So crafting is one of them. So, and at the moment I have a slight obsession with diamond painting, and you can't get a whole lot more lame than that.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, that is pretty much paint by number, but with plastic diamond beads. So you're literally placing them on a chart, and in the end, you have this picture. Yeah, I literally cannot explain that in a way that sounds interesting or badass.
I think it sounds like fun, but maybe I'm a little boring too.
I do that just about every night while I'm learning. I do a lot of like self-led learning, and very into investing and stuff right now. And so getting into this whole new realm of stuff. And so I do the diamond painting to keep myself focused and paying attention. It's almost like it distracts my right side of my brain so that my left, or I get those mixed up.
It's okay. I don't know.
Distract one side of my brain so that the other can pay attention and absolutely absorb the information. And so it works really well for me, that I'm doing something super boring, but you end up with a cool picture in the end, and I get all this knowledge. So that's been my quarantine life.
Speaking of quarantine, what's been one defining moment that's really changed your life?
Oh, during quarantine, good grief, there've been a lot. I've kind of started off from the beginning. We both lost our jobs. My partner, my husband, and I both. He had a new job and literally lost it 2 weeks later, and I couldn't get my massage license going. I was a massage therapist, and we just moved to a new state, and so we were both unemployed and kind of scrambling to figure out what to do. So we started websites, I started coaching, I started just pretty much everything I could do online, you name it. And now I've gotten into cryptocurrency investing. And so I'd say a real big defining moment for me was actually about 2 weeks into our COVID diagnosis, and the rest of my family was doing okay, but I couldn't do anything and I couldn't work. I had to stay home. We were quarantined, obviously, and my husband got it really bad, and so we were actually then realizing that he may not be able to work again anytime soon. You know, this isn't just a temporary unemployment, but a long-term diagnosis. So that was a big defining moment for me, that I was at first dabbling with doing things online, but thinking that we would all pretty much go back to work. And then it was, oh no, we have to stay home, you know, and having to really go full in at that point. That was a big defining moment for us.
I would definitely say so. Well, that just seems like an obstacle in itself, but what other kind of obstacles have you had to overcome?
Just this year?
I guess.
Yeah, so like I said, we used all of our savings and our tax return to move to a different state for a new job, and then 2 weeks later got canned. So that was really hard. And then you know, we're struggling along the way, and then of course the extra unemployment gets taken out from under you. We still don't have jobs because both of us are in the service industry, and pretty much the service industry this year was kind of tanked. And we both are very, very specialized. You know, he is a chef and not just a cook. Like, he was a classically trained chef, and I was an amazing massage therapist and healer, and both of those things were just pretty much, you know, down the tubes. And we don't have any training otherwise. We didn't have any college. You know, we can't fall back on a bachelor's degree or something like that. And you pretty much have to have any of that these days to do anything else. So we're looking at either our specialized field or, like, you know, a minimum wage job. And we can't support our family that way. So it was a really, really tough trying to figure things out. And then, like I said, we got hit with COVID first, and it was 2 weeks after he started a new job. So we'd spent 7 months unemployed. He finally got a new job and caught COVID 2 weeks later. So then our whole family was quarantined, and he had a really horrible bout of it. So I was staying home taking care of everyone. And immediately after we started to crawl out of that, my 1-year-old daughter got strep throat, a double ear infection, and a bacterial infection.
Goodness gracious.
So it was about 8 weeks of illness and of me taking care of everyone. Yeah, so that's been the last couple of months. And so we finally crawled out of that. And like I said, I started investing, and that's been going really well, and I'm really excited about it. And I have a coaching group for it and all kinds of stuff. So it's definitely not an area I would have seen myself getting into at all. So it's been a huge jump and a lot of learning. But yeah, I'd say there were quite a few obstacles this year.
I would say so. Well, okay, what do you consider your talents and strengths? Because you have to have some to be that resilient and bounce back so many times.
That's one of them. Yeah, I mean, I've always known that I'm creative and intelligent, but this year it has been falling back on my strength and my flexibility, and just being able to work with whatever I have around me. And you know, that has always been, that's a little bit of the punk in me, a little bit of the crafter in me, you know, that you just take the crap around you and make it awesome. So, but this time, instead of with physical crap, like turning it into interesting crafts or clothes or whatever, this year I was doing it with our lives. Like this is all I have. This is all I have to work with. I have a tablet. I have some skills. Like, what can I do with this? And yeah, it's been extremely challenging, but in a really good way.
I love that. Well, how have your talents and your strengths really shaped who you are now?
It's really funny because at the beginning of this investing and coaching kind of venture, I made a post online to everyone on my list saying, if there were three things that you thought of when you thought of me, what would they be? And the things that I was seeing come up again over and over and over again were, resilient, strong, determined, and mother and badass and all of those things. And so I think I stopped railing against that. I've literally looked like this as long as I can remember. It's it's one of those, it's not a phase, mom. But I think that I accepted it all as an identity rather than, oh, this is just what I like to look like every day. But instead accepted everything that comes with it, you know? And I guess for a cliche buzzword, stepped into my power this year.
I love that. Oh my gosh. And yeah, you kind of have to step into your power if you really accept the way everyone else really views you, at least with their strengths anyways. And you look at it all as a persona.
Right. And I've always been, when I was coaching other women through their online ventures or their businesses, I was constantly coaching them about making themselves the brand, and this, even though I knew that and I agreed with it, I think that part of my identity is being so flexible that I don't think I committed to a brand, because I was always just going, oh, well, this is what I have to do this year. I'm going to be this person this year. I'm going to be this person this year. I'm going to be this person this year, because that's what I have to do in order to provide for myself and my family. But I think this was the first year that I went, no, like, wipe all that away. You've got nothing else to lose at this point, like, the only good thing, not the only good thing, one of the good things about 2020 and the issues and challenges were we couldn't be kicked out of our home and they couldn't shut the lights off, so there was a little bit of that, like, you can't hurt me anymore. Like, I'm not scared of these basic things. I know that I can have a roof over our heads and food in my kids' mouths. Other than that, how do I take everything and make this identity, this brand of me, make sense? So it's definitely been ever evolving this year, but I think that I finally landed on it.
It looks like you did. You seem very confident in where you're at right now.
It feels good. Not gonna lie.
What advice can you give someone that may be struggling to figure out who they are as a brand, or someone that's going through a lot of things at home?
One of the things, and this might sound counterintuitive, it is something that I felt helped me, was, while you take everyone's opinion that knows you well, or that you feel knows you well, or should know you well, I also took the time to quiet those voices. I actually blocked a bunch of people from a bunch of posts. I felt like I actually had the space to step into to my power and really acknowledge my identity when I quieted all the voices that were yelling at me the loudest about what my identity is or should be. And it's always people that you love and respect, you know, and they mean well. But in order to really truly feel comfortable in it yourself, you kind of have to block those a little bit, or shut them out a little bit, quiet those voices, because that's always something that I felt really got in the way of my progress before, is, you know, what I should be doing. And I don't think that my physical identity suffered in the past. I've always done what I wanted there. But I mean, as far as helping others, providing for my family, you know, playing to my strengths, all that kind of thing, I think that I listened to others because I had such a wide array of talents and abilities that I literally could have chosen any of them and become successful at them. But you really have to figure out what's going to make you happiest, because that's ultimately what's going to make you the most successful. So that has been my biggest issue. And I don't mean this year, but like my entire life. And so as terrible as it sounds to kind of shut down your closest family and friends, but just kind of like separating them so that you have that space to start posting, start promoting, start marketing for yourself. And the only way that you're really going to figure it out is to do it. So I think that that's where I've grown the most, was taking the time to separate myself from my inner voices, from my closest people, and actually listen to myself and only tune into myself, you know.
That makes so much sense. Yeah, because your opinion is really the only one that's really going to matter in the long run to you.
Absolutely.
Do you have a personal motto?
Two. No one benefits from you hiding your badassery. And what is normal to the spider is chaos to the fly.
I like those. I like both of those.
So, you know, I've been different my whole life, and it wasn't until sometime in the past, I don't know, 5 or 10 years, that really, I allowed that to sink in, instead of being too much or too this or too that. And I'm like, what I am is fine and okay. It's normal to me. And I'm not railing against anybody. I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm not, you know, rebelling against anything. It's just normal to me, and that's okay.
Well, you are amazing and such a badass and awesome in every way, as far as I can tell. And it seems like presence really is definitely a key factor in all of this, because you are so present in the moment. I love it. I really do. You said you have a coaching group, right?
At the moment, I am coaching investing. So we've started with investing with cryptocurrency. I did have a just coaching group, and even that didn't feel comfortable to me, even though that is what I want. But I think my thing is, I don't want to monetize my coaching. I want to give coaching while helping invest and helping people figure out how to make things work for themselves. So at the moment, it was really important to me to just inspire through doing and not so much charge. I feel like the coaching community is really exploding online right now, and I don't think I was ready for it, for doing what they're doing right now, and that maybe I will sometime down the road. But at the moment, it feels better to me to just inspire through doing and to help others through investing.
Okay.
So,
Well,
so yeah, one of my groups is Crypto Badassery. That's where people usually start. And then I have a private group beyond that where my team members who join me in the ventures get more of the education and more of the support and coaching. That group is a little more just educational.
okay. Well, will you send me the link so I can put it in the description for people to find your badassery, your crypto badassery group?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having me. It was great to meet you.
It was nice to meet you too. Bye.
Bye.
She's pretty awesome, right? And she's a real badass too, even though she says she's a little boring. I don't believe her. But anyways, so one of the key things that she said is that she had to be present. She had to be fully present in her life for her husband, for her children, in order to really be able to juggle all of those things that were thrown at her just in 2020, right? And now she's able to build her empire off of those strengths that she found for herself because she figured out who she was and she wasn't scared from not holding back. Goodness, can I talk? So that's all I have right now, but I hope today you think about what strengths that you have and how you can use those strengths to your advantage because there's always a way. See you next time.